Hello, good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in once again to my health education channel with the series Sleep Hygiene. Welcome, everybody. And today we'll be continue with the series part 4 on meal times. As we briefly mentioned before, there's 6 vital components to proper sleep hygiene, including number 1, light, 2, exercise, 3, meal times, 4, things to avoid, 5, wind down, and 6, environment. So today we'll be specifically tuning on mealtime or meal times. As we all know that consistent and adequate proportions of meal times are vital to one's health as well as better sleep. So let's dive deeper into those subtopics. First, I want to discuss the meal portions and proportions of different types of food. Let me switch over to another website, which is very useful in terms of food, food choices, and food intakes. This is myplate.gov, an official government website by the United States Department of Agriculture. As you can see from the chart on the right hand side, it shows the ideal portions of one's food consumption each day, every meal, in terms of categories such as fruits, vegetables, grains, proteins, and dairy. And when you go onto this website, this is the first thing you would see. And of course, you can scroll down, and there's other useful information. Uh, we would be having another education session just mainly on food choices, etc. So for now, if you're interested in terms of what to consume and how to properly consume each type or category, you can click on the individual icons, such as fruits, vegetables, grains, etc., protein, and then to learn more about them. This is the first subcategory I'd like to discuss, and the following subcategory would be food meal times. So we want to establish a consistent meal time. Oh, and by the way, pardon me, the last thing with the first subcategory in terms of uh, food food types proportions is that you would want to, for example, your usual meal consists of 25% fruits, 25% vegetables, uh, 25% grains, and 25% protein with no dairy, just for example, which is not recommended because we would want to consume some part of dairy. Some people are lactose intolerant and they don't prefer dairy, which is fine. Like I just gave the example with 25% of each in fruits, vegetables, grains, and protein. You would want to keep that consistent. You wouldn't want to have, for example, 25% of each besides dairy, the example we were just using, for breakfast, and then for lunch, all of a sudden, no fruits, no vegetables, mm, just grains, proteins, and then for dinner, you would have only protein, let's say, for example, or fruits. That wouldn't be healthy. You want to have a consistent proportion of food consumption in each category or type. And then we'll be moving on to the second subcategory, which is consistent meal times. Same ideology with food proportion, you would want to consume food at a fixed time or fixed times. For example, if I were to have breakfast at 7, lunch at 12, dinner at 5, I would want to keep that consistent instead of having those times all over the place. For Monday, for example, you have it 7, 12, uh, and then 5 for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, respectively. And then for Tuesday, you would have it, let's say, at 10, and then skip lunch, and then 7 at night. For Wednesday, you'll have 9 in the morning, and then lunch at 1 or 2, or skip dinners, something like that. That would not be ideal either because our stomach, as well as our body, are used to a certain consistent pattern, a fixed pattern. And having meal times like that disrupts your stomach function, your other body organ functions. And guess what does that do? That in turn heavily impacts your sleep quality. For example, if your uh, consistent sleep time, consistent good quality sleep time is around 7 to 8 hours, by having that kind of interrupted or hectic eating schedule in terms of food consumption, that greatly decreases your quality sleep time and increases anxiety, even can lead to mild insomnia, or in the long run lead to insomnia. Therefore, we want to keep, number one, consistent proportion of different types of foods, as well as consistent meal times, in order to achieve a better sleep quality. So that is it for this session, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much once again, and have a great Friday and rest of the weekend.